Welcome to episode 16 of the T.O.D. Project, brought to you by Triumph Company with your hosts, Marcelo Scott and Jared Klein. Today on the T.O.D. Project, special guest Armando Valencia, along with Marcellus and Jared, go into the story of Armando's life pertaining to being a first-generation immigrant, the effects of social media when it comes to influence and censorship, and as always, there's got to be some money talk in this one, so stay tuned for the money talk. Get connected with Triumph Company on Instagram at Triumph Company US, as well as visiting their website, triumphcompany.us, while using the code TOD10, that is TOD10, in all capitalized letters for 10% off your order at checkout. We would love and appreciate it if you would subscribe to the TOD Project on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, along with following the podcast on Spotify. Also, episode 20 of the TOD Project coming up in 4 episodes, actually including this one. It'll be 5 episodes, will be streamed live on our YouTube channel. So make sure to get connected with our YouTube channel. The link to our YouTube will be in the description on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a stream. Finally, follow our special guest Armando on Instagram at mondo.exec. That is at mando.exec. With that, sit back, relax, and open your minds for today's episode. Welcome back to the TOD Project. This is episode 16. Today we have a banger. Me personally, I haven't talked to our guest today in a while, but always stay connected with this man. For both of us, Marcellus and I, he's been a person that's impacted both our lives for the positive. And he's a man that just likes to speak the truth and really doesn't really care if you really doesn't care if you think it's bullshit. I couldn't spit that out, to be honest. But yeah, our special guest today, obviously, if you're on YouTube, you could see him already. Armando Valencia. Like I said, he's been a friend of ours for a while. And yeah, so I guess let's just jump into it. Marcellus, how you doing today? Mondo, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great.
Yeah, I'm doing even better.
Mondo, welcome, man. It's nice to have you on here finally.
Guys, thank you for having me. Truly, this is you guys were the inspiration of me doing the podcast. So thank you. This means a lot.
Let's get to that right now. Let's do your plugs right away so everyone else knows your project, your podcast, what you're about. Give your plug.
For sure. So my podcast is called Public Comments. So basically I had an idea of all these ideas that were in my head and I needed a way to get out of them. And how it happened was I bought a mic and then I figured that I couldn't use it without the audio interface. So I bought that thing and I was just like, well, if I'm going to invest more money into this, might as well get another mic, and so I could do it with not just myself. And that was kind of the inspiration. Luckily, I'm blessed to have a brother that kind of produces the whole thing, does the angles and edits it and the whole 9 yards. And so him and I are partnered in that. And so been doing it I got 6 episodes, 2 loading that are about to come up. So definitely subscribe, comment. I got some, what's cool is I got some pretty good topics right off the bat, which I'm sure you guys are on the same wave when we're talking about this. It's just like everybody wants to talk about the same topics and everybody has their own opinion, which is fantastic to be able to kind of put all that stuff out there. But all the comments on YouTube.
Yeah, all your stuff for the listeners, all Mondo's stuff will be down in the description. So make sure you go follow obviously his personal stuff, but really check out his podcast. It's true content. Obviously I'm a little biased because I know this man and I've connected with the guests that he's had on. So yeah, it's really good content. Give it a listen. Marcellus, have you gave it a listen at all?
Yes, I have, man. The Mike Never Read episode, the first one. I need to watch the next one, or the one that they just dropped. What, this week, or was it? Yeah, it was this week you dropped it. Yeah. I watched that. I watched the first Mike, and then I watched the one we had with Jordan LaSavage.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was definitely.
Yeah, it was. It was fire.
Never
y'all gotta watch that shit.
Never sell short for content. I love the one that you had on. Was it your sister? Your first one, I think.
Yeah. So that was mainly just to test the equipment, but it ended up being crazy because I was just recording my little sister,
Yeah.
just let's test this out.
It
And
was interesting.
she
It
was
was
spitting nuggets, bro. So I was like, this is good. This is worthy.
it was really interesting. It apple doesn't apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I can tell that right away.
Yeah. I try to teach him, man, like my parents never really taught me much of the stuff that I know now, in my adult life. Other than like, when you wake up, make sure you do your bed, don't leave your dish on the table, like,
Mhm.
the basic stuff. But they never taught me how to multiply my money or how society works, and so I'm glad that my parents are teaching my siblings that. But I feel, being the oldest, a responsibility to pass down what I've learned in my adulthood over to them. So
Mhm.
Man, hey, okay. This is a good start. So I would like to know, what was it like being little Mondo? Aren't you like a first generation immigrant, right?
yeah,
If I'm not mistaken. So
yeah.
like, what was that like? Coming to America. Do you remember like specifically like what it was like? Being in Mexico first and then coming over here and making complete life change. But yeah, how
Dude,
was that?
yeah, that's crazy. That I somewhat never really talk about this, but lately, people ask me a lot about it more. So it's exciting. It's a cool story to tell. So I was born in Jalapa, Veracruz, which is like coast. Like, how Mexico has a little tail, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like in the middle, the dot middle of the tail that goes like this. That's where Veracruz is. And I came here when I was 8, and I don't really remember much about Mexico, like vaguely. Because most of my experience is out here. But when I came here, my mom crossed the border, very traditional Mexican crossing. She crossed, on foot, but they paid a little extra change to bring me in a car. So I used somebody else's identity to come through. I don't know who it was, but I remember they told me, they were just like, the only thing you say, and they were telling me all this in Spanish, but the only thing that you say if you're spoken to is, I do not speak English. Like, that's what they told me to say. And I was asleep when we crossed the actual border, so I don't remember how that happened. But I remember falling asleep, and then when I got here, I remember seeing the flag. But what the craziest part is that my mom actually, she left me at a stranger's place, trusting that these people would get me to her eventually. I remember her saying like, I'll see you soon. She left me with some money, and she's like, if you want, candy or whatever, like, here's some money. These people are gonna take you to somewhere to meet me. Like, I'm gonna be gone for a few days, and I was like, okay. Um, so good news is I got to my mom very quickly because she crossed very quickly on her first attempt, which was good. That it's kind of rare for that to happen. And then when I got here, I remember seeing, I was in Texas. I crossed through Texas, so I remember seeing like highways upon highways of highways. You guys know how Texas is, and then
Man.
just a
Wow.
big American flag, and that was my first exposure to America. And being, growing up, I was not kind of, I was bullied. I didn't speak English. I didn't look like any of the kids. I didn't speak the language. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was in ESL, which was like looked down upon because it made me feel like I was dumb. That's where my drive, I think, kind of started to succeed, because uh, I was like, they like, I need to know what they're saying. Like, I'm not dumb. I know that I'm smart. I need to figure out how to speak their language.
Mhm.
My neighbor used to have Nerf guns, and at the time, my parents never grew up. I never grew up with money. My parents didn't really have money. We rented a room. When I got here, my dad rented a room in somebody else's home. So it was myself, my mom, and me in somebody else's home. We rented a room in there. So they didn't have money to buy me a Nerf gun, and my neighbor and the kids that I lived with at the home had Nerf guns. And they would invite me to play, but they would never share because I couldn't understand what they were doing. I couldn't speak. I couldn't, like, be on cops or robbers or side or whatever. So that was really where my drive started. And I don't really remember Mexico too much, but I remember that that's kind of how I started. Like, man, I know that at the time it was more ego. I was like, man, I know that I'm above all these people because I can, learn this fast. So I learned English in like 8 months. Watching, yeah, I was watching. I was in ESL classes, and then I was only in ESL classes for a year because I accelerated so fast. But how I learned how to speak English, I sat and watched the same. This was 2002, right? So that's when
long time ago.
SpongeBob was the OG cartoon. Nickelodeon played the same 5 episodes of SpongeBob. So I would just sit in front of the TV and I would watch SpongeBob SquarePants, and mixed with what I was learning at school versus SpongeBob. And I don't know if you guys remember this book, the monkeys jumping on the bed book. One little monkey.
I think I remember it.
Yeah, 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped it. Dude, that's literally in my mind because I memorized it. I learned how to read in English. That was my first book that I learned how to read in English. So, yeah, man. I mean, accelerated pretty fast and everything, but I was never really good at school. Like, I just knew how to finesse, I guess. That's kind of how I got through middle school and high school, and I didn't go to college. But yeah, dude, that's my from rags to riches, I guess, kind of.
Wow.
Story. It's crazy.
That's great. Dang, that just shows you, like, literally, if you really want to, like, learn something, you can do it. Like, you just gotta put your mind to it, man. God,
I can't even imagine. Like, I can't even, like, when I took Spanish in like middle school going into high school, I thought it was the hardest thing. I can't even imagine buckling down and trying to learn English in 8 months. Like, that's insane, especially like at that age too, to have the discipline to do it. Especially,
yeah, that too. Mm-hmm.
Like, that in itself is just as impressive as the feat of learning the language. Learning the language itself, like, no matter the time frame, is impressive. But you did it in 8 months and at a young age. It's insane.
Yeah, I think I kind of got myself to, like, well, it's either that or like you won't have any friends.
That's true.
I wanted some friends.
That's true. Got to have a social life.
Man,
That's it.
gosh.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
So a big thing that has happened. I don't know how long ago it's happened, but I know it's fairly recent. You bought your parents a house.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I know obviously where I guess all three of us come from. Retiring your mom or doing stuff for your parents in general is a big goal of ours, right? So where, I guess obviously we know where the goal starts, right? That's probably a pretty common goal. Like, I want to buy my parents a house, I want to buy my parents a car, I want to retire my mom. But what were those steps? What were those struggles that like set you back 2 steps to allow you to take 3 steps forward? Because that in itself is a humongous feat. Everyone has the aspiration, but not a lot of people are able to push through that and really, see the, like, reap the benefits of their work, and provide that to their family. So kind of tell your whole process through that. What made you step back? What allowed you to push forward and really hone in and tunnel vision on that goal?
Yeah. So, the inception of it was, like, I knew my parents always deserved something different, and it wasn't really until I started trading that I really kind of came up with that goal, because I knew that they needed a new home, but I always thought that they were just going to do it by themselves, because that's just that's just how adults should live their life.
Mm-hmm.
But as I started learning about money, I realized that, like, neither of my parents had ever made more than like $50,000 a year. And when I made that in 4 months, I was like, yeah, I need to do something to help them. But it took me 3 years to do it. So even though, I made really good money, I think that was the setback, that I grew up with no money, and so therefore I lacked the education of what to do with it. So I was making good money, and I could have done it so much sooner. Like, I could have bought my parents a house in 2018, but I didn't know what to do with money.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just kind of like trying to do things to impress people that didn't really care about me, just because I thought that money was, how I would get into like a different social class. Kind of goes back to, in the beginning where I had to learn how to speak English. Like I needed to do something. Same thing. I think that translated into money, is that I felt like I needed to impress people. And so I would make a bunch of money. And so I moved out of my parents' house when I was 20 years old. I moved into a house and roomed with 7 people. And after my lease expired, I moved back to my parents. Um, which in like Hispanic culture, like if you move out, you're like you're SOL, like you're kind of considered like a failure if you come back. But I came back and my parents, with open arms, they take care of me. But then I got back on my feet and I moved out again, and I was living by myself for 3 years. When I moved out of the house, that's when I set the goal. I set the goal to buy my parents a house, and my mom never wanted anything too big because she knew that eventually, it was going to be an empty nest, and she doesn't like cleaning, so she was going to have to clean the whole thing. And she wanted like a decent sized house. And so what I did was I went on Google and I typed in townhomes. I typed in just regular, right? And I made what's called a vision board, and I put it up on my wall. I actually made like a vision wall in my room, big ass wall. I put all these things that I wanted to accomplish in my life, and a house for my parents was one of them. And every day, you wake up and you look at it and you see it. I started saving money, putting money to the side. Stacked up 10 grand, stacked up some more money, and I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to do it. And then I had like a big punch in the face financially, where I needed to actually use some of that money. And I was like, man, now I'm, what's happening, so that was kind of like the repetition and testing, like the universe or God was testing me on whether this goal of mine was worthy, whether I was worthy of it. I feel like, so I got back on my feet once again. And the cool part was that I kept looking at the picture, but that's when I had learned about affirmations, and I made what's called a goal card, right? And every day I would read to myself, I'm so happy and grateful now that my parents live in a house that I bought for them, every day for like 6-7 months. And one day my mom texted me, she said, I have the information to someone that can finance you a home on DACA, which was another obstacle. I don't have a legal status in the US. So I can't get a traditional loan. I can't go to, Wells Fargo and ask them for a $200,000 mortgage loan, because I'm a risky person, because I'm not technically allowed to be in the US. So you have to find specific lenders, and my mom, being the smart woman that she is, found a plug, basically.
Wow. Shout out to mom.
Shout out to mom, for real. She sent me the picture. She's like, I think I can, I found someone that can help you out. I reached out to them and they were able to help me out. Funny story about the house that I bought. I didn't even look at it. My mom was like, I was like, whatever, like find a house. I got approved for $200,000, $220,000. And I was like, that's your cap. Like go shopping. And I actually went to see like 3 or 4 houses with her. I placed an offer on 3 of them, and all 3 of them got outbidded. And it wasn't until the 4th one, which was the one that I bought, that she's like, I really like this one. And she went by herself to see the house. I was like, cool, if you like it, I'll put an offer on it. And the offer got accepted. I had never even bought the house. I'd never even seen the house other than online. Got accepted, and I closed on the house about 32 days later. So
did it get accepted right away, or was there a little kind of leeway where you were worrying like, am I gonna get outbid again? Or
it was 2 days, so
yeah,
it wasn't like right away, but it was 2 days. So yeah,
pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it was good. The other ones, took a little bit longer. But here's the crazy part. And I said this about my Instagram. This picture's on my Instagram. The house that I bought from the outside looks 90% identical to the house that was on my vision board.
That's crazy. Like, man.
And like
Wow.
it wasn't planned. Like I didn't realize it until I was like in euphoria. I was like, I did it, like I'm gonna go post about it on social media. I went to my vision board and I took a picture of the damn vision wall.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit, it looks, almost
Wow.
identical to what I had on my vision board. And yeah, that was a big thing. But that's when I really realized that, God always has, is when spirit rises and commands, God is ready to obey. I keep hearing it in my head, so I felt like my level of belief was so high at that point that everything just, aligned the way that it was supposed to. So crazy shit, man. It's crazy.
Sheesh.
It's crazy.
Turn up, man. If we was on a Zoom call for QC, I would say drop 7 for Armando. But man, I want to ask you about these current events going on right now, because when you started talking about, trading and getting to the bag, get to the money, man, a lot of people are losing a lot of money in these markets, and they don't want to get that, that mentorship like us three. We're getting mentored and still get mentored to this day about the financial markets. So what do you think about the GameStop pump, the AMC pump, and this daggum Doge coin? Oh my God, it's a freaking meme, y'all. It's a meme.
It's crazy, man. That was actually my first question that I asked Mike on my second, my second recording with him. Because in my opinion, right before I even bring up what he talked about, actually I'm not even gonna talk about what he talked about. I just go watch the episode, But in my opinion, I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. Because I don't even know if I'm allowed to swear on here, but
yeah, go for it.
Man, shoot, that's what we do.
Sometimes. I swear on mine, so I feel like it's whatever. Joe Rogan swears, so I feel like it's all.
Yeah, we don't have really any filter, so go for it, my man.
That's good. I thought it was all just bullshit. Yeah. People, but like myself, when I started, want to make money fast. I want to make money quick, and they think that buying into the hype is going to make them money. And I think it's great. A lot of people made a very significant amount of money. I love that. Yeah. I think that it's good that people became aware that you can make money online. You don't have to slave away at your freaking corporate construction job for, $18 an hour. You can make $500 in 6 hours. It's cool. I think people realize that, which is good. I love that part of it. What I don't like is the manipulation, because it shows that media controls human emotion. I think that just like, the whole COVID shenanigans, the media led people to believe a certain subject, a certain storyline. People followed it. And so same thing what's happening with, the current events in the stock market and the financial markets, I should say, because crypto as well, is the media, whoever, because somebody controls Reddit, I think everything is controlled. I think everything can be manipulated. If the financial markets can be manipulated, I think, a website can too. So, I think somebody, maybe not just one person, but I think a collective amount of people, I think we're smart enough to be like, let's play around with some human emotion, and they made it happen.
Honestly, one of my theories is I'm along your lines. Like, someone went on Reddit, but they had inside information and knew that hedge funds, if this happened, they would lose a shit ton of money. And in those hedge funds losing money, they would make money. So they pulled their strings that they had to do, talk to the people on the Wall Street Bets Reddit, and we're like, hey, say this shit. People are gonna pump GameStop, AMC, whatever, and all these people are gonna lose money. And then in the back, they're like, oh, I'm gonna make fucking bank off of this, bro.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. I think that people always do something for a reason, like there's not very many people that would just do something out of the kindness of their heart, and especially in the financial markets.
Yeah. It's funny because now I'm in like design chats, like sports design chats on Twitter and stuff, and now they went from being design chats now to stock chats. And like literally everyone and their mom was posting like Robinhood screenshots and stuff of like all their stocks or whatever. And I'm just like, literally like 3 days ago, this wasn't even a thing of conversation. Like no one even cared. And now all of a sudden everyone's just like, oh my God, I'm a fucking stock market guru. I made $30 on GME today or whatever the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Like one of my buddies, he oh my God, we were sitting in class and he goes, oh, I gotta go download Weeble now. And I go, why? He goes, I go, why? Like when I was trading and I was talking to you about it, you had no interest. He's like, well, I mean, everyone else is doing it. And I was like, oh.
Bro,
observe the masses do the opposite.
Honestly, okay, bro, whatever. Do your
I had somebody call me. I don't know who gave him my number. I really don't. But they called me, right? And they left me a voice message. They're like, their phone kind of cut out when it said who gave them my number. So that's why I don't know who. And I forgot to ask. And it said, this person told me that you're the guy that invests and teaches people to invest. So I call him back, right? And he's just like, yeah, I just want to learn how to buy stocks. I'm like, okay, why do you want to do that? He's like, because everybody on Twitter and Facebook is doing it. I said, so listen, I'm Hispanic, I'm Mexican, right? And my mom always used to tell me, like, if you see everybody else eating shit, are you gonna go pick up a piece of shit?
It's like if you see other people jumping off a bridge, are you gonna like similar?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except my mom was a little bit more aggressive with it. But
yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But that's what I told him, and he was like, "Yeah, I guess you're right." I'm like, "Come on, bro! Like, it's investing 101. Don't get in when everybody else is getting out, So it's crazy, man. This whole shit is shenanigans, but I love it, man. I think it's great to be a part of it, live in it, live through life on the other side of it, like to be aware of how everything works. And I don't know. The only thing that I know is that I know nothing. I just kind of go. I just kind of go with the flow of things, and play my role, and make a few bucks here and there, But
so now we're talking about stocks. So what's Dogecoin was a big thing. I mean, recently, Bitcoin, Ethereum recently hit all-time highs. Bitcoin a little bit earlier than that. So where do you think Dogecoin is? Obviously, you were talking about it a little bit on your podcast with Mike. About it being like a meme and stuff, but do you think it could potentially be a legitimate current cryptocurrency or no?
If you would have asked me this question 3 hours ago, I would have totally gave you a complete different answer. But because I tuned into Jordan's crypto call at 7, I now have a different bias. And I don't think that a legitimate investor would want something that was created as a joke in their legitimate investing portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the people that created it will continue riding the emotional wave of investing through retail investors. Meaning, like, I'm talking about like euphoria, depression, all that, the up and down.
Yep.
What XRP is doing, basically.
Basically.
Man.
Yeah.
XRP is a shit coin.
I think that's what will happen. Because it's not a legit asset. It was created as a joke. So it doesn't have any monetary value. There's nothing proprietary about it,
Right.
So I think people can trade it and make some money off of it, and that's great. A lot of people will make a lot of money. A lot of people will lose a lot of money, but a legitimate investor I don't think would ever have that as part of their portfolio. That's like, yo, Jared, you're a pro investor. Let me see your portfolio. Oh, you have a joke in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally,
right.
Like, nobody, I got a deck of cards, right? I don't have a joker in here. It's like,
yeah.
Nobody wants that. That's my opinion, though. I could be totally wrong, and it could be, 80 cents tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't think. I mean, granted, who are we to say, like, this shit isn't going to happen overnight? I mean, we've seen crazier stuff. But like, I don't know. I feel like it's all with attributed value. Bitcoin was a joke when it was at like $10.
Yeah. Fact.
So like it's just, I mean, you never know. I mean, we can assume. I mean, obviously Dogecoin was named off a joke, but I mean, all they got to do is rename it, and then it could become legitimate. It's just attributed value, just like anything else. So
yeah, I think the difference is Bitcoin is a network, not just a coin.
Yeah, that's
right.
So
And it's digital gold too. So
yeah,
a storage of value, literally.
exactly. I think that's why. I think a lot of people are like, oh, this could be the next Bitcoin or this could be the next Ethereum. Like people think Litecoin could be the next Ethereum, and there's potential. I think obviously just like uh, the Dow Jones, you can invest into the S&P 500 for a tenth of the price. Same thing. You can invest into Litecoin for a tenth of the price of Bitcoin. They all, they're all assets. They all have value, but there's always a king of the jungle.
That's facts.
Where do you see, I guess since Bitcoin's at the top, where do you see Bitcoin at the end of 2021? Because we got a pretty bold statement from Jordan. I'll reveal that after you give your statement. So
I would say, dude, I've been learning a lot about Bitcoin. Again, if you would have asked me this question 2 weeks ago, I would have gave you a totally different answer. But because I've been studying like the market movements and really been diving deep into like cryptocurrency experts and just the network of cryptocurrencies and the Bitcoin blockchain, I could definitely see Bitcoin at over 100K.
Dang,
that's exactly what Jordan said.
100K.
Exactly what Jordan said.
Jason Brown today said that he could see it at 50K by the end of the quarter. So if first quarter hits at 50K, we just keep riding the wave, the same cycles that are happening. And, it took from 2011 to 2020 for Bitcoin to go from like, a few $100 or a few $1,000, like 17,000 or $1,700 to, 38. What was that? 38 today? Decade. So I think we can cut down the time. Supply and demand, basic supply and demand things as well,
Yeah. 100%. I'm at the point now where like, so I do like freelance stuff on the side, that I'm putting like 50-75% of my freelance check into cryptos and into like stuff like that. Like I used to just stick it all in the savings, and there's just no reason to. No reason.
Facts.
Well, I really don't keep money in my bank. There's no reason to,
There isn't.
I live my life on debit cards or on credit cards. I mean, because I recently discovered that you can create a hustle off of that if you use them correctly. It builds your credit and helps you. It's cash flow. Cash flow. And then any liquid money, obviously I keep enough to, in case I gotta pay a $300 freaking tow fee or something like that. Like I have enough in there for a small emergency, but I don't keep any money in the bank, bro. Like all my money's in either my trading account or in cryptos, or my house, or looking into getting another one. It's like I just don't want my money to sit there. It's like water. I heard this analogy once. Money is like water, right? If you're in the middle of jungle and you see a puddle of water, chances are you're not going to just drink it because it's sitting there. You can't. It's like still water turns bad, right? It gets mold, viruses, germs, all that shit. But moving water, current flowing water is you can drink it. Like you can go to a mountain. If it's flowing, you can drink it. It's the same thing with money. Like you just got money just chilling in the bank because of a rainy day, right? Because our parents taught us to save money. It's not doing anything. It's actually losing value. So that's the way I look at money.
So we've been talking about financial stuff here. So to kind of gain your credibility for the viewers, tell people, I guess, what you do. In a sense of the financial world. Obviously, we know what you do, but to kind of solidify what the people have been listening to for the past 20 minutes here, kind of give people your lowdown on that side of things.
Yeah, probably should have started with that one, right?
Yeah, that was my fault. we kind of jumped right in. That was on me.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So I got started in this whole. I love money. I'm not afraid to admit it. It's my best friend. I'm in love with it. I have a very deep obsession with it. Mainly because I grew up with none of it. But it doesn't. Money is my servant, but not my master. I love it because I can like I have $1 million chocolate bar. My girlfriend got it for me. Like this is how obsessed I am. Like people just give me money shit all the time because people know I love it, bro. Like for real. But because mainly like I never grew up with it. So in my career, I started off as a salesperson. I was knocking on doors. Then I was knocking on doors selling people cable. Then I upgraded to knocking or going to businesses and trying to get them to reduce their utility bill, gas and electric. Then I attempted to run my own business, selling health products, and we did a storefront and everything. And once I knew that, that just wasn't the way to go, mom and pop traditional business wasn't the way to go. I got into inside sales, so phone sales, like on the phone, calling people, cold calling people, receiving calls. That's where I made six figures. I made six figures in sales, and then I got introduced into what I do now, 2.5 years ago, through random guy on Instagram. I think I said this earlier. But now what I do is I'm an investor and digital marketer. So I run an organization, continuously growing global organization. Right now I work with about 150 students, and I teach or coach, I should say, because I don't directly teach, but I coach people on how to invest their money into all three of the financial markets. So cryptocurrencies, forex, and the stock market. Uh, that's what I do. The majority of my income comes from trading myself. I mastered this skill. I got really good at taking my income at my job and multiplying it for myself until my profits became larger than my wages. And so I quit my job and I do this full time. And as far as the marketing aspect of it, that's what I do. I'm an influencer for a platform that we learn from, and I've been doing that for 2.5 years. And I want to my future and where I'm going is I want to take the concept of what I'm doing and do that with real estate. So I know that over time, people like you guys, because this information, Marcellus, you, Jared, like you're gonna have a decent chunk of change in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Yes, sir.
Um,
I can feel it.
yeah. And so when people have money, sometimes they don't know what to do with it. And so I want to teach people to invest into real estate. So that's the move.
Have you dabbled in that yet?
Yes. Personally, like taught somebody how to invest. No, I've like kind of guided people through how to buy a house because I did it for myself. I've did a couple unofficial like real estate deals, meaning like I'm not a real estate agent and nor did I buy property on my own, but I did the transaction. I bought my first property obviously last year, and right now I'm getting into the game of all the foreclosures that are going to happen this year. A lot of people deferred their, I'm sure you guys are familiar, deferred their mortgages 3, 6, or 9 months. So people haven't been paying their mortgages, and mortgage lenders are allowing this to happen. And it started in December. This will be the third month that people have to start paying back the money. So I think in the spring, summer, when sheriffs can actually come in and kick you out of your house when it's not, there's not 6 inches, 12 inches of snow out here in Chicago. People will start, unfortunately, being foreclosed on their home. And so I'm learning a strategy of going in there and kind of being Superman for those people. And inevitably, there are some people that we can't help, but we can't help them save the home. Some people will be able to save the home. We'll renegotiate with the bank, but other people, unfortunately, are too deep in the hole where they'll need to leave. So we're going to provide them, with help on how to move, because people, they can't pay their mortgage, chances are they don't have money to find a new spot or, for a moving truck or all that stuff. And so helping those people and then taking control of the property ourselves. So we're going to come up on some investments through there, and really just targeting the Latino community because, not discriminating anybody else, but me personally, I want to help Latinos because not a lot of people really have information about that. So that's kind of my goal.
True.
So yeah,
big moves.
Yeah, man. That's all we're about. Once I'm telling you guys, once I really get the groove of these because I'm not learning this. I think every mentor has a mentor. So I'm learning this from somebody that actually reached out to me to learn how to trade. This guy's wealthy already. He's got multiple income producing properties and he wants to learn how to trade. He reached out to me. Then as he started seeing that, I would consider myself slightly above average. He was like, dude, I think you got a lot of potential to do real estate. I'm like, bro, you're speaking my language. That's what I want to do. And he's like, let me take you under my wing and show you everything I know. And I'm like, bro, please, and yeah, once I learned that, obviously transfer knowledge. I need to get people like you guys to do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Hey, turn up. So your podcast, bro, I know for a fact you probably got like a special guest that you want to have on like in the future. So like whoever's your top like idol or person you want on that podcast, who would be that person that you would like literally like, man, do anything you could to get them on the podcast?
Grant Cardone.
I should have never asked this. I should have knew that, but why Grant Cardone? I mean, I know why Grant Cardone. Don't you? Yeah,
I do have.
Like, why Grant Cardone?
Hey,
I know why. I kind of know why, but like, really, like, why Grant Cardone for the listeners?
Grant. Okay, so I started learning about money through Grant. I started making a lot of money because of Grant. And then I got the real estate idea because of Grant. So he's my mentor indirectly. I consumed a lot of his sales videos. I enrolled into his university. The reason why, I can sell mainly anything, to anybody is because I learned the skill from him. And then once he kind of was like going into the real estate path, I was still soaked up into sales. Started seeing, he bought a jet and then he bought a bigger jet and now he got a helicopter. So now he's got a jet and a helicopter. I'm like, I want to know how he did that. He talks a lot about taxes. He runs like 15 companies and all of them have his name on them. So I just, I would love to sit down for an hour and just pick his brain. He's very humble, but a lot of people think he's a dick because he's narcissist. He's a narcissist for sure. He thinks he's the shit. He thinks he's above everybody else, but he has a willingness to learn, which is great because John Travolta, I was actually at his conference last year, and John Travolta, believe it or not, is close to a billionaire. He doesn't disclose it or anything like that, but he owns like 6 jets and Grant only owns 1. And so Grant was asking him questions and Grant was taking notes. And I don't know, I think, Grant or note takers are money makers. And I admire his ambition to learn, to keep learning and to learn from players that have more money than him. But I also admire the fact that he stands his ground when people talk shit about him, because I can relate a lot to that when people are like, people from high school now that see me doing what I'm doing on social media. People, yeah, exactly. They just talk and talk and talk. And they're like, man, this guy's just all this, that, and the third. I'm like, that's cool, bro. Whatever. I don't care. Say what you say. Think what you think. But dude, I love the guy. His wife is awesome. His kids are great. I love it.
Man, they are.
His playing is legit. I want one myself. So I'm going to have him on my podcast one day. I don't know how or when. And Canelo too, bro.
Hey, that would be lit.
Yeah. That'd be insane. That'd be insane, bro.
That would be, yeah.
Canelo's a beast. He's gonna be my business partner one day. I have no idea how, but I told that to everybody. I'm like, I'm gonna teach Canelo how to trade.
I'm gonna chop it up with Canelo one of these times. Bro, who knows? That shit could happen in 2 months for all we know,
Yeah, you never know.
Only takes a day. Only takes one message. You never know what could go out there.
Very true. Social media is crazy, man. The internet is it's my favorite thing.
The reach on some of the things is just insane. Like, dude, sometimes like I know like it's crazy. Like I work with Instagram a lot. I work with it. Obviously, like through this and through our business that we have together, and through my personal stuff. But when I do freelance, I do social media design and stuff. So I'm kind of on the front lines of like their marketing team almost. And every time Instagram comes out with like an algorithm update, we really like, we know, because we usually get like 10, 15K likes on our stuff every time. And then those handfuls of posts would get like 2K, 3K, you know. But sometimes out of the blue, like organic growth, just bang, like a snap of a finger. Some posts just pop up on the, like, you get comments and comments and likes, and all of a sudden they got 80,000 likes. Like, it's all it takes is one. It's insane how fast it can go.
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw that with Mike, dude. Like, I did a reel, and that was the first reel. I think second reel I ever did was one of Mike's. You know, Mike has a very big following, and I blew up, bro. Like, it blew up. So it's crazy. I got a ton of followers. I got a ton of likes, much stuff. Like, I got DMs, people I had no idea who they were. Like, I really saw the power of that behind social media. You know, you get something that provides value, and it was a short 15-second little clip of, you know, an hour-long recording. And yeah, dude, the connections were outstanding. I love the internet.
I mean, we say you don't know what you don't know. Like, I just got to dive deeper on that stuff.
For real.
Like, algorithm research and like why reels are like the hot shit now, you know? Like, it's always changing too. It's always changing.
You know what fucks me up though? My brother introduced me to shadow banning, and I've seen that happening. I talk a lot of shit on Facebook and Instagram. Like, I'll post something about COVID, and I'll notice that particular post doesn't get as many views as, you know, if I won't post anything about COVID for like 2 weeks, you know, my stories will get 200 more views than when I do post something about COVID. Like, you see something and it's got the little COVID advisory at the bottom.
Oh my God, the fact checks, yes.
Yeah. Anytime I post something and a fact check, Instagram puts a fact check on there, anything I post after that, the viewings go down. It's like
you get like blacklisted or like red listed for like a week.
It sucks. It sucks.
It's that censorship and cancellation lifestyle that's been popping up.
Yeah. Do you guys know if Trump got unblocked off Twitter?
I did not know he got unblocked.
No, I don't think he did, honestly.
No, I'm asking, like, I don't know either. I don't
know.
What do you think about that though? Like, that's crazy. That's the freaking US president. Like, got shut down.
It just goes to show how corrupt the system is, man. Like, some people were like, it's not freedom of speech because it's a corporation and it violated their like
TOS.
Yeah, terms of whatever service.
Terms of service, yeah.
They like, it violated that. But, you know, I don't know, man. Like, isn't this guy supposed to be the most powerful, you know, leader on the planet, to the point where he has control over the corporations? Like, what if Twitter is the only way to reach America? You know, like, I think that the media, something interesting that I saw was that a lot of the messages that he was putting out, he wasn't doing them through traditional media cycles like CNN or the White House YouTube videos. He was publishing himself, maybe not himself, but his administration was publishing him on Facebook, which was interesting. And then when I saw that he got banned, like,
I didn't even know he had a Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where he was, like, every day for like the last month of his presidency, he was dropping a video, you know, explaining a lot of the stuff that was happening. But because, again, Facebook is corrupt as well, it just goes to show that the corporations run the politicians. Politicians don't run corporations, you know.
And it seems like it doesn't even matter if your title is the president of the United States.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, I don't even care. I don't even care if you like the guy, if you don't like the guy, but like, that's fucked up. Like,
it is. Yeah, it is. Like, imagine if they did that to Biden. A lot of people would be pissed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna fuck everything up, I think. But
oh my God, yes, bro. And then that Bernie Sanders meme. Why is somebody he's not even a president. He's not even a president, bro. And he's getting more popularity and publicity. He could he can come out with a coin called the Bernie coin, and I guarantee you people will buy it.
I was just gonna say it's the same thing as like Dogecoin and like all this shit. It's social media, bro. That honestly, some of those were the funniest things I've ever seen. Some of those, he's just sitting there with his mittens, bro.
that meme, bro. It broke the internet, dude. That was the funniest thing ever. It was on everything. I did see that he published it on hoodies, sold out, and then donated all the profits. So that was
that's awesome.
That was a good use of his own meme, but he did it himself. So
that's genuine.
Very.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it a lot.
Oh my God.
He's like that cool grandpa, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably why it popped off, because like he's just like an old guy, just like looks all disgruntled and like just chilling in his chair.
Yeah.
Man.
Damn, man. Huh?
He was mad. I feel like he was mad.
Oh yeah, like no doubt.
But I mean, at least he took advantage of the situation and used it for something that benefited, you know.
Yeah. True.
That was a good one. I didn't know about that charity move. That was awesome. I didn't even know he did that.
Yeah. There's like campaign or something. No, he don't Vermont Wheels on Meals. Meals on Wheels. That's what he donated to. So.
Well, dang. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
all right, well, damn. I mean, low key. I mean, I don't really know much about him as a politician, but I just feel like he's a genuine dude. I feel like he's a nice guy.
That's how I feel. I feel the same exact way. I just like Bernie as a person, just like Donald Trump. Like if I follow a politician, I'm gonna like him as a person and not solely just on like, oh, okay, I'm just on the side of Republicans. Like so many people are like one-sided when it comes to that stuff. I don't like getting into it because people they'll go ham at your ass about a certain side, and I stay out of it. I don't even vote. I'm probably never gonna vote, honestly, but that's another podcast.
Ooh, that is a topic. That's a big topic.
It is.
It's a good one.
That is a good one. Dang. All right, well, damn. I mean, it's been awesome having you, Mondo. I knew this one was going to be awesome. Especially, I wanted to piggyback off of your episode with Mike because we were going to talk about that similar stuff. So I knew today was going to be a banger. If you have anything else that you want to say, Marcel, if you have any closing thoughts that you want to say, kind of let them out, and then we'll kind of close it up. That sound good?
Hey, listen to this man, Mondo. Go to his IG, listen to his podcast. He has a lot of information when it comes to finance. If you want to get your money right, like Grant Cardone says, listen to Armando, man. And I'm just blessed to have him on. And I'm ready to get on his podcast as well. I think it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited for that one. Gary's gonna come through one day too.
Yeah, we were talking a while ago. Marcellus and I were actually talking about it earlier this week, and maybe we can get in your DMs and talk about maybe like scheduling a meeting up there in Chicago.
Come through. I'm here.
Always gonna be there. All right, well, damn, guys, go down below, follow Mondo, listen to his podcast. Like I keep reiterating. Oh, also one thing that I didn't mention, I should have mentioned this. I'll probably put an audio clip in this in the middle. Episode 20 is going to be streamed live on YouTube, so make sure you follow us on YouTube. It'll be down in the description below. But yes, follow Mondo. Keep up with this man. He pushes out content, a ton of content every single week. He's a knowledgeable man. And also he's just a genuine dude. If you didn't get that from this podcast, you weren't listening. But yeah, Mondo, again, thank you for coming on. This has been episode 16 of the T.O.D. Project, and we will see you guys next time.